First tonight, the Arctic air that is expected to bring icy conditions over the weekend, pushing south, getting closer to us every day.
The advice tonight is get ready now so that when you go home Saturday night, you can stay there the rest of the weekend. Matt Doherty and Maria Aguilera are showing us what's being done to keep the roads safe and the power on.
David Paul, of course, the chief, kicking off our team coverage in the Weather Center. The latest on the forecast tonight, David.
And I like what you guys said. Get your stuff done by Saturday afternoon, go home, stay home Saturday night, stay home on Sunday. Get yourself some treats and just stay home and watch the weather and be safe inside. Saturday's a cold rain, dropping temps, but it's liquid on Saturday. Saturday night into the first half of Sunday, that's when we drop to or below freezing in many areas and we see the ice threat on Sunday. Let's just walk through it step by step. This is 11 o'clock Friday night. Tomorrow night, we're mild thunderstorms in central Texas. That's going to be the first round of rain to come in with this system. This is 6:30 Saturday morning. We're above freezing. We're getting rain and thunderstorms, Brenham to Columbus. That line of thunderstorms moves through the heart of downtown into the coast by about 9:30, 10 o'clock on Saturday. But again, the green, the yellow, the orange, the red, it's all liquid. We're all above freezing except Livingston, maybe near freezing, but I don't think anything accumulates up here just yet. So it's all liquid going through the day on Saturday. That's noon on Saturday. There goes the line of storms. After that pushes through, it's going to open the door to the colder surge of air to come in. And so by Saturday evening, now this model has just updated. So now 6:30 in the evening, light rain for Houston, but cold enough to support sleet and freezing rain near Brenham to College Station, probably beat eyes. Huntsville showing just above freezing, Livingston just below freezing. So on the edge by 6:30 Saturday evening. Saturday at 9 o'clock, it gets dicey up here with freezing rain likely northwest counties. We go into midnight. Look at the rain now it's forecasting. Heavy rain for Harris County. That could be heavy sleet and freezing rain in the northwest counties. And then going into 3 a.m., notice the pink now getting into Harris County, suggesting we get our chance for sleet, freezing rain, the frozen roads, the frozen bridges, and we'll be watching the power grid really carefully. 3 a.m. Sunday into 5:30 Sunday morning, still pockets of freezing rain and sleet, and then it finally gets out of here by mid-morning on Sunday. So that's the way it looks. The ice forecast is not overwhelming, which is great news here. I don't like that number for 3/4 of an inch in ice near Palestine, so close to us. We'll talk more about that. I'll show you where the leading edge of the cold air is now, and we'll take a closer look at temperatures when I see you again in a few minutes.
So much to detail. We'll stay tuned, Dave. Thank you. Today, Governor Greg Abbott issued disaster declarations for 134 counties that are expected to be impacted the most so that emergency resources can be dispatched quickly.
Now, he's confident the state power grid is ready.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm. There is no expectation whatsoever that there's going to be any loss of power from the power grid.
However, even if the state grid is prepared, it doesn't mean there won't be local outages if ice accumulates on tree limbs and power lines. And that's exactly what officials with Centerpoint were talking about today.
Maria Aguilera continues our team coverage now with how they're preparing and ready to respond if needed. Maria.
Len and Mia, a big concern here is power outages. And tonight, Centerpoint Energy walked us through the work already done and the backup plans if our power takes a hit.
Crews are on standby as a winter system zeroes in on Texas this weekend.
We have winter weather approaching.
Centerpoint Energy says they have 3,300 electric workers and 700 gas workers ready to respond. Vegetation management has been a major focus, with 8,000 miles trimmed across the Houston footprint in the last 2 years, and enhanced trimming in high-risk areas ahead of the storm.
We've also set up 3 staging sites in areas that we believe are going to be needed because of incoming weather.
But trees outside Centerpoint's right-of-way still pose a risk on power lines.
That's still a concern for us as we go into this weekend, and that's why we're prepared with this kind of army of 3,300 people ready to respond.
A major concern, ice accumulating on power systems north of Houston and how that could affect us here.
So we think about potential icing north of our area. It could impact the transmission system up there. The good thing about the city, our footprint, is we don't get our transmission from just one location. We get it from the west side, the southwest. So we have multiple areas to be able to bring power into the city of Houston.
Centerpoint says it has doubled call center staff, and they're urging customers to sign up for power alerts and use the outage tracker. Daily briefings will continue into the weekend. In Houston, Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.
First thing tomorrow morning, TxDOT trucks will be out in force, spraying the freeways ahead of the freeze. This is a look at them treating Highway 290 today. Matt Doherty is live now with a closer look at those continued plans. Matt?
And Mia, we were standing in this exact same spot exactly 1 year ago tonight. That's when that road behind me was frozen and impassable. Tonight, work crews are trying to make sure they're ready in case it happens again.
What they'll do is they'll start to spray. They use spray trucks. We'll have some trucks. It's usually a work convoy.
Danny Perez with the Texas Department of Transportation says work crews have already started prepping the roads ahead of the storm. Today, he says the brining solution was sprayed on parts of I-10 and Highway 290.
So this is going to be a massive, major operation.
Tomorrow morning, Perez says TxDOT District 12 crews will be hitting the area hard as we wait for the storm to arrive. He says major roadways throughout the district's territory, which includes Harris, Galveston, Fort Bend, Brazoria, Waller, and Montgomery counties, will all be included in the preparations. And TxDOT isn't the only agency working to keep things moving. We saw Precinct 4 and Precinct 3 crews prepping roads ahead of the storm today as well. But TxDOT says the best thing to do once the ice starts to build on the roadways is stay at home. When the roads get too hazardous for vehicles, work crews will begin spreading a gravel-salt mix to break up the ice and create traction. But it's not so that drivers can hit the roadways, it's so emergency crews can slowly navigate a path through the city in order to save lives.
It's not for the person that has to go work a regular job. If they're not reporting to a hospital, they're not a first responder, that's not the folks we're really looking to get moving. Those folks, we ask those folks to stay home.
From the Heights, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
So as you heard, everyone is being encouraged to stay off the roads, as you see here, when the freeze hits. Now, for those of you, like many journalists, who have no choice but to work, here's what to keep in mind. First, make sure you have a full tank of gas just in case you get stuck in traffic longer than you expect. Also, keep an emergency kit handy. That's always a good idea, including jumper cables, a first aid kit, charging cord, portable charger, flashlight, flares, snacks, and water. All of those items should be in your trunk before the weekend. Also a good idea to keep extra boots if you have them, gloves, hats, and blankets in the car, just in case you get stranded and it takes a while for someone to get to you.
It is also important to keep your outdoor pets in mind during these kind of winter storms. The Houston SPCA is reminding everyone about the Safe Outdoor Dogs Act, which cracks down on owners forcing their pets to live in inhumane or unsafe conditions. So if you can't bring your pets inside, make sure they have shelter from the elements and access to both food and water. The SPCA is asking folks to report animal cruelty by calling 713-869-SPCA. Plus, the Houston Zoo tells us tonight they have activated their cold weather protocols to keep the animals warm there. The buildings, barns, and night houses are all equipped with heaters, and the zoo has generators to keep them running in the event of a power outage. If they have to close the zoo due to the weather, which they haven't decided yet, they will have teams stay on site through the weekend to keep an eye on the animals.
We also caught up with the Star of Hope today, handing out supplies to help people living on the streets stay warm. They could use donations. If you can help, drop them off at the Star of Hope Distribution Center that is located on Lamar Street, or at the Women and Family Development Center that's out on Reed Road. The City of Houston opening up 12 warming centers. That starts Saturday morning and will be open through the weekend to give folks a place to warm up. You can see the locations. Take a good look right on your screen. Mayor John Whitmire and city leaders plan to release more information about these centers tomorrow afternoon.
We want you to know we have you covered 24/7 before, during, and after the winter storm. Be sure to download the free KHOU 11 Plus app on your TV, where we'll have extended streaming coverage and have a live radar that streams around the clock for you. Also, download our app on your phone so you can get updates on the go. Just scan the QR code on your screen to get started.